Hi, everybody. This is Ryan Boone from the Can Council, and this is Hey Bay City.
Ryan Boone from the Can Council. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Phil.
I'm looking forward to talking to you. We were talking as we walked in that Can Council has such a special place in my heart as a previous teacher, and working with kids every day, and how you guys serve our really essentially our children by education and all sorts of things that we'll talk about. You guys are doing such important, necessary work. So I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Before Can Council, though, you were a principal.
I was.
Tell me about that.
I was 26 years in education, all with Bay City Public Schools. I taught in almost every school, secondary school in Bay City, and then decided to move into the world of principalship and being an administrator. And I was an assistant principal at Handy Middle School for a little while, and then principal there. And then I had the opportunity to take over Eastern High School. At the time, it was Winona, and it was one of those programs that they were kind of always, should we keep it going? Should we shut it down? And they kind of our school board gave me free rein on it. And we kind of created something really cool. And I was there for about 7 years, and really got the program up and running again, and created a good, viable opportunity for kids that needed something different than traditional education.
Yeah, Eastern is such an important part of the Bay County community. You guys are doing such a great job, and you certainly played a role in that. Looking back on your time as principal, what did you love about that work? What did you value most about that work? What was important to you as a principal?
Yeah, I in education in general, it was just, I've got 26, 27 years of just really good memories and really good relationships with people, whether it be other teachers, whether it be with the kids that went through. I still see them all the time in the community, and that's the one thing that I'll always take with me. Like you have the opportunity to make a bunch of really neat relationships and help people, whether it be teachers or whether it be students or parents or whoever. And then as I kind of finished up that career, I decided to retire last year. I was like, I'm not done working, and this is what I know. So then I end up in education with the Can Council. So it was, it's just kind of keep moving forward and staying around a classroom. That's my way of life, I guess.
I give you a lot of credit because typically when people end their first career, their first thought isn't, what am I going to do for my next career?
Yeah.
Right off into the sunset and say, okay, especially in education.
Yeah.
Usually at that point, you're like, man, just give me a beach for the next 25 years. Don't bring me anything. Just let me sit there.
Yeah. And it's, I'm too much of a busybody. I had a little bit of time between when I ended with Bay City Public, and then when I started with the Can Council, and I was driving my wife and my family crazy because I was like, I'd get everything done by noon that I needed to get done, and then it was like they'd come home and I was at a 10 and they were at like maybe a 3 or 4, and they were like, you need something else. You need to go stay busy.
I feel that. So as you were being a principal, you got involved with Can Council, right?
I did.
How did they originally first come on your radar, and then why did you take the additional step of joining?
Yeah. So when I was principal at Eastern, we partnered with the courts on a day treatment program where we were bringing kids in. Usually it was like truancy stuff or that type of thing. But we were partnered with the courts, and one of the court administrators was on the board of the Can Council, and she'd kind of term limited on the board, and so she talked to me about it, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And at the time, Emily Yeager was our CEO, and so she met with me, and I was like, this sounds like a great opportunity for me to be more involved in our community. And so I jumped on the board in 2020. It was right after the pandemic. We were doing meetings with masks on and in four corners of a room, and I just kind of stayed with it. I expanded my role a little bit on the board, and was involved with our Dine and Unwind program that year. It was kind of one of those first opportunities to actually like break out after the pandemic. So it was really, really well attended, and I was fully engaged in the Can Council at that time. So
what what was it about the Can Council, and we'll get to the 101 in just a second, but what was it about Can Council that said, this is not only an organization that I want to be a part of, but it's an organization that I want to continue with at an even deeper level?
Yeah, and as I started learning more about them, and I knew about them, and I'd seen them in the community, and I'd been part of some events. But as I learned more, it was right up my alley, and it was our mission is to keep kids in Bay, Saginaw, and Huron counties safe from abuse and neglect. And it was like, as an educator, it's if I can have a whole bunch of kids in a building that don't have to worry about that type of stuff, like we're doing valuable work here. Yeah. And so I became more and more engaged in it. And then obviously as I move forward and in this, I'm fully entrenched in it as a career choice.
Yeah, that points out a reason why Can Council is so special and so important to the community is because we can talk, and we should talk about quality of education in terms of curriculum, in terms of staffing, in terms of facilities, all of those things. But if we have kids in the community who are facing these terrible situations, right, none of that matters right after that. You can talk Maslow's hierarchy of needs if you want to nerd out on the educational term, but if we don't address this issue, if we don't help kids and protect kids and keep them safe, we can have world-class education and that's not going to help them.
Yeah. And it's not something people like to talk about. I'm wearing a pinwheel today. That's kind of our sign for abuse and neglect. And nobody has trouble wearing a pink ribbon, right, for breast cancer. Like they're going to support all that sort of stuff. But when we start going down the road of abuse and neglect and the discussions that need to happen, a lot of people shy away from that. And we try to keep that in the forefront the best that we can. And we do that through multiple aspects, but a lot of it's through education, and that's kind of what that's my wheelhouse. Yeah. That's where I am. That's what I know. So it fits with me very, very well.
Yeah. Something that is hard to talk about, but we need to talk about it more, and we have to talk about it better. We have to protect our kids. Like these are kids and their lives on the line. We have to be adults, and we have to say lay the cards out on the table. How can we help kids in these situations? How can we protect them?
We do different types of presentations, but one of the key ones that we do, and we can talk more about those later, but one of them is, one of the main points in our Stewards of Children is that we as adults, like it is our job to protect kids, and that's what we should be doing. And that's what Can Council is, it allows us to do, and allows us to teach the adults. It allows us to teach the kids. It allows us to be in the forefront of all of these conversations. And it's a huge point, and people need to hear it. Somebody say it out loud to them that we as adults, we need to protect kids.
Yep. So give me the 101 of Can Council. Who are you? What do you do? And we can start talking about the different programs, workshops.
Yeah. So Can Council, we're kind of the leader in advocacy for child abuse and neglect in Bay. We're located in Bay, Saginaw, and Huron counties. There's multiple parts to Can. I'm on the prevention education side, and we've got a whole bunch of different layers to our prevention education. We also have a CAC. Our Child Advocacy Center, and our Child Advocacy Center allows kids to, when this stuff does happen, it allows them to go in and be interviewed and do it in a very controlled, normalized manner so that we're not traumatizing the kids more. It's a fabulous side of Can. But, as prevention people, we try to make sure that doesn't happen. But when it does, because in reality it does, we provide a really good service to our kids and to our community on that side of it as well.
Amazing. So if you jump over to the Can Council website, do you know the address right off the top of your head?
It is cancouncil.org.
Okay. So folks, if you go to cancouncil.org, and you should, if you're a business professional, leader in the community, teacher, you work with kids, families, you're an independent citizen who wants to help in some way, you got to head over to the website. You showed kind of different ways that you can help different people or educate different people in the community, specifically a group for parents and caregivers, students, and then the community and professionals. So maybe highlight exactly how you outreach to these different groups.
Yeah, absolutely. And with our prevention program, we have multiple layers to that as well. We have a parenting education group who and we have a coordinator for that. Crystal Charbonneau is our parenting coordinator. So we do a 24/7 dad program. She does parent cafes, tries to get in front of parents as much as possible. For our educators or for anybody that is actually working with kids, we have Stewards of Children training, which is going to provide them with the with the signs of this, and then also mandated reporter training, which happens when you do recognize some of these signs, what to do about it. We do that in conjunction with DHS, so they're always there with us in those presentations. For the kids is kind of more my wheelhouse, and I do Madeline Burr Foundation put together a program. It's both child and teen safety matters, where we're going into the classroom. I've been in the classroom the last few days. I'm going to be back in there the next couple weeks, but we're going in and talking to kids about being safe and how to be safe and recognizing signs and being advocates for each other. And then we also have put together a safe baby program. We have another coordinator that does a lot of that. So our safe baby program and our safe sleep program. We actually even created a babysitter boot camp this year. So our prevention side is really, really busy, and just trying to get in front of as many people as possible to make sure that kids stay safe.
I love the multifaceted approach to it. We can provide education and prevention in all different ways based on who you are. It's not just we have this one workshop and we'll give you this one workshop and hope that it works for you, and it may or may not apply. But regardless of who you are in the community, Can Council has some way to get in front of you and provide the people that you employ or work with or whoever it is tools and information that you need to protect kids.
Absolutely. And we try to be as multifaceted as possible. We're even at a point where if we just need something tailored to specific things, we'll make it happen. We
Awesome.
We want to make sure that we're out in front of people and we're getting our word out there to everyone.
Amazing. Needs that you have. I really want to throw this out into the world. Do you need volunteers to support this work? Do you need donation? Do you need supplies of some kind? Tell me what you guys need from the community to support what you do.
Probably the best answer to that is yes.
Okay, yes. If you have something to give, please do it.
Yeah. We're always looking for volunteers, and it can be as simple as coming over. We have a locker on site at the Saginaw Can Council, but it can also be distributed into other places. Just keeping that organized. We always need volunteers for that. We do have a program it's a CASA program, which is fully volunteer. And our CASAs are court-appointed special advocates. So when these kids do go through some sort of abuse or neglect situation, we have somebody, it's almost like a big brother, big sister type of setup. Awesome. Where they're able to be with them and kind of work through them. And we have a big number of volunteers in that. And then, in terms of donations or anything else, we always take those, and we're always happy to take those, and monetarily we are mostly grant funded. So we do push through a lot of grants, but we also do a lot of fundraisers throughout the year. And our main fundraiser for Bay County, because we are separated by county in terms of monetarily, our main fundraiser for Bay County is our Dine and Unwind that's coming up on October 3rd.
Tell me about that.
So Dine and Unwind has been around for a little while. It's had a couple of different facets. And originally it was outside down at Winona Park, and we did some different things with it. And then one year we had really, really bad weather. And I was actually on the board. It was one of my first years with Dine and Unwind. I was part of the committee. We had bad weather.
Welcome to the chaos, Ryan Boone.
Yeah. So enjoy the chaos. But we ended up in a day's time. We ended up moving it from down there into Doubletree. We had to get we had to get our liquor license moved back, from one place to another, which was a whole mess.
Didn't think about that.
No. And then all of our vendors, we had to move. Like, it was just this. We did 2 weeks worth of work in like 4 hours. Oh, no. And but it turned out so good. Like, that's what we're doing now. So it's at DoubleTree.
Okay.
It is $75 a ticket. That ticket includes 10 drink tickets, and then all you can eat food from local restaurants. So there's wineries, there are breweries, there are all these different. It's just a nice event where people come out. We have silent auctions. We have stuff that's being auctioned in person. We have games there. We have different things that we do, and that is our main fundraiser for Bay County.
Tickets? How do I get tickets?
Tickets, you can get them from the website.
Okay.
It's actually going to be at Dine. You can also go to dine.cbo.io. It is in fundraisers. If you look up fundraisers on our website at cancouncil.org, you can click on fundraisers. You can go to Dine and Unwind, and you can buy purchase tickets right off the website as well. There, if you don't want to go, but you're still interested in some silent auction items, that is also, you do not need to buy tickets to be part of the silent auction. If there's just some neat, and we do have some really neat prizes and gifts and things that we're auctioning off, you're more than welcome to do that. But it's all on the website, and you can register as an online bidder, and you don't have to be down there if you don't want to, or if you're busy that night.
Very cool. So many ways you can support Can Council work, Dine and Unwind being one of them, but head on over to cancouncil.org is the website and check it out. See how you could help. Maybe volunteer. I just like to shout out maybe retired educators. Like that just popped into my head. Like, here's a way that you can continue serving children. But whoever, volunteers or supply donation, whatever, head to that website and check it out. Ryan, look, you're relatively new to Can Council in this role, but looking back on your time so far, what do you love the most about the work that you're doing?
It's been very rewarding. And it's been, I'm able to stay out in front of kids. I'm able to be part of that protection network, that protection layer, and we just have a fabulous staff. We have fabulous people in our organization that are working every day to keep kids safe, and like that's pretty cool.
Yes,
that's pretty special, and it's like there's not a more dedicated group of people than you'll find in those buildings every single day, doing their best to try to make sure that this stays in the forefront of people's minds.
100%. I want to speak to that because I know some of the folks involved with Can Council that are doing that on the ground, boots on the ground work that we all need, that our kids need, and these are some of the best people that you'll find anywhere. It's an amazing organization because the people that are doing the work within it are also amazing. And so if you are even interested in any way volunteering to having Can Council come and do workshops or education, you reach out. You have to reach out and get them involved, get yourself involved in some way. I want to thank you, Ryan, and the rest of the crew of the Can Council for all the work that you do in the county. And of course, thanks for spending time with me this morning. It's great.
Absolutely, Phil. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. This is really, really interesting, really fun, and you're doing great work for the community as well.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Woo! Crushed it, bro.
We did it.
Yeah.